Hi everyone. Today we're going to be playing a game called Mushroom Oasis. It's a graphic novel about a cute little guy in the forest. So I guess let's just get into it. Um, so this is a title screen, of course, and let's press start. What's my name? My name is Nevy, of course. We all know that. My cat's name. Hmm. Uh, I don't know what to name the Let's call him Mittens. And the cat's a guy. Yeah. Mittens has been missing for a while now. He was an indoor cat, but he had the tenacity of a wild cat on a mission trying to leave whenever the door was open. Cat ears and playtime just wasn't enough for the little mister. I figured he'd come running if I left out some food by the porch. 3 days later, still no cat. I've tried everything I could think of. Asking around the neighbourhood, putting up missing cat posters. Sadly, nothing came from my efforts. I couldn't search for him during the day since I had work keeping me occupied. And there's only so many hours in an evening. I could yell around the streets looking for him. There was only one place left I could think of that he might have ran off to. The woods near my house, right across the street. I've definitely caught him eyeing the birds and squirrels that ran alongside the perimeters from the window front, his teeth clicking in excitement. Hang on. I need to turn Mushroom Oasis audio up. Do I? Wait. Oh my god. The struggle. I think it's fine. Yeah, it should be fine. Anyway. I was no outdoorsy person. Oh my god, outdoorsy person by any means. In fact, the thought of going in there scares me. But I had to find him, or at least try. The first weekend that came around, I packed up some water and Mitten's favourite treats and a compass to be safe. I wasn't sure where to even begin looking for him, so I started walking in a straight line, calling out his name every few steps. It certainly didn't take long for me to realise I was way in over my head. Why did I think this was a good idea? It was hard to find my bearings within the surrounding trees. I didn't want to admit I was lost, at least not yet. I could only squint down at my compass as the needle spun slowly. Pretty sure they weren't made to do that. Did I really bring a busted compass on my first venture out in these woods? Figured that would just be my luck. The only thing risking my own safety was my own incompetence. I shook my head hastily. No, no, no. No time for the negativity. Mittens was out there somewhere, cold and lost and hungry. I had to keep going. It's been hours. I'm so lost. I don't even know why I kept searching even after the moment I'd realised that. Why did I think this was a good idea? Hunger had been gnawing at my stomach for a while now, having missed breakfast and lunch altogether. The heat and humidity from the afternoon sun was unbearable, but the cooling air did nothing to soothe me. Even if I were to head home, I couldn't even pinpoint where that was. What do people even do in this situation? I knew it was baseless optimism, but walking onwards was really the only thing I could think to do. Surely I'll come across something familiar. I trudged on, my shoes carefully avoiding the trees, the roots intertwined across the floor. But in my weakened state, plus the approaching darkness, I found myself stumbling through the rough terrain. My feet hit something soft, jutting out of the ground. Ah! My hand shot out as I lost my balance. My feet clumsily tried to find purchase as I wobbled backwards, my arms flopping. Poof! What? My shoe had landed smack dab in the middle of mushrooms, the brunt of it causing a wispy cloud to erupt from the cluster. I stuck my nose in my elbow to avoid breathing it in. I couldn't differentiate one tree leaf from another for the life of me, but I'm pretty sure humans aren't supposed to inhale whatever the hell this was. It smelled strongly of rotten wood and wet dirt, even as it cleared. Something shiny quickly caught my attention. I stooped back down to pick it up, gasping under my breath. It was Mitten's collar, covered in whatever the hell those mushrooms released. I looked around desperately for any signs of him. Mittens? Mittens! Psst, 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 psst. I coughed from inhaling some of the remaining dust floating in the air. I should really steer clear from this. Pocketing Mitten's collar, I retreated carefully until I could breathe again. Stepping back, I could still smell it. Must have stuck to my hair and clothes. A quick once-over confirmed my suspicions. With a slight cringe, a thin yet generous coating of it covered my sleeves and jeans. I leaned against a tree, dusting off my clothes in a naive attempt to get the dust and smell out, to no avail. If anything, it felt like I'm breathing more of it in. What used to be musty now turned sweet, and I found myself inhaling even deeper, trying to pinpoint the smell. Cucumbers? It smelled like fresh cucumbers. I love cucumbers. I eat cucumbers like carrots, guys. They're so good. A tingly feeling crept up in my hands and neck, pinpricks spreading across my limbs as a strange heat reached my face. I started to feel drunk and woozy. My senses were numb. It should freak me out, and yet a strange comfort washed over me. I should lie down. Right now, in fact. My legs gave out from underneath me, my body toppling over at an awkward angle. I laid there, and stared, and stared, and stared. It was nice here. A peaceful calm. The perfect place for a nap, even. My eyes grew heavy as I swam in and out of consciousness. Yeah, a nap sounds really good right about now. Dang. MC's having a rough time. Oh. Lots of critters passing through lately. Sorry this happened to you, little one. It could have been anyone, but it had to be you. Wait. A human? How'd you end up all the way out here? Still breathing too. Oh jeez, I can't leave you here. What should I do? I woke up with a jolt. It was warm, but comfortably so. I could feel the weight of a blanket on me as I tried to sit up. I couldn't move my body. My fingers twitched uselessly at my sides as my eyes darted around in panic. Glancing about, I could see the interior of a cabin. Or at least the ceiling of one. I couldn't see much past the corner of my eyes. Where was I? How did I get here? A desperate feeling rose in my chest. I had to leave. Right now. This was wrong. 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 I wasn't meant to be here. I could hear the crackling of a fire nearby, likely the source of the warmth I had felt on waking up. I could also hear footsteps approaching. I'm gonna just stay awake. Oh, it's cute! I flipped my eyelids, straining to look at the person approaching. My eyes widened as I took in their appearance, the, the protrusions from their forehead catching my attention. Not to mention the green skin. The stranger didn't sense my unease as they heaved a sigh of relief. You're awake! That's good, very, very good. How are you feeling? I blinked. Oh! Sorry, I forgot about that. Here. The person held a cup to my lips, a strong, sweet smell coming from the rim. A gentle hand grabbed my chin to open my mouth. I couldn't even move to resist. Don't worry, it'll help you feel better, I promise. Drink up! The liquid hit my tongue. All I could feel was a vague sense of heat. As I kept drinking, taste and texture returned, the sweetness of berries and chamomile coating my taste buds. I could even detect a hint of mint. Oh my god. I hate words. They're so hard. I lifted my head finally, hands fisting at my sides as I propped myself up onto my elbows. The person kept a steady hand on my chin, careful not to pour in too much in case I choked. I finished every last drop, wiping my mouth with the back of my hand. I stared at my fingers, realizing I had full autonomy over my body again. That's wonderful! Good as new. Now how are you feeling? Better, thank you. The stranger laughed. Oh, I like the way you sound. Been ages since I've talked to anyone, much less with a voice as nice as yours. Why, thank you! I brushed off that strange compliment, finally looking around the cabin properly. It was a simple room filled with sparse but decorated wooden furniture, fitted for someone living alone. An open archway to the right led to what I assumed was the kitchen. Next to it, a door was closed shut. Possibly the bathroom? Taking it in, there was a common theme of knit decorations strewn about. Any available surface had patterned knitted tablecloths covering it. An unfinished project lay beside the table where I sat, a pair of knitting needles jutting out of a pile of yarn from a small basket. As far as I could tell, it looked like the beginnings of green scarf. The stranger was comfortable in staying silent, observing me as I glanced around. They tossed their hat onto the bed, scruffing their hair and making it even messier. With their hat off, their unique features were impossible to ignore. Sorry, but who? What are you? Oh, I didn't introduce myself today. Hiya, I'm Michael with a Y. I shook my head. No, I meant that, Michael stared at me with the left ear twitching. You look very... He snorted. Ugly? Off-putting? No, just different. Different, huh? You're just being nice. Well, then explain yourself. I mean, that's kind of rude, isn't it? I paused for a moment before pinching my nose bridge, exhaling slowly. I'm just... Sorry, it's been a long day is all. I should be thanking you. If it helps, it's a skin condition. Is that what you humans call them? And the ears? Genetics. Right. And I assume the little... I waved vaguely at their horns, antenna. Those things are just cosplay to complete the look. Would that make a convincing argument? I squinted. Maybe. Then yeah, it's cosplay. Still doesn't explain everything. Michael huffed a nervous laugh. Listen, I'm just a guy living by myself in the woods. You don't need to worry yourself any further than that, okay? Something in his tone compelled you not to question his existence anymore. There's something up with this guy, man. He's just some guy. I don't think so. MC, are you okay? Living in the woods. Completely normal. Right, completely normal. I'm Nevie. Michael beamed. Nice to meet you, Nevie. I fiddled with my blankets as Michael scooted closer from the edge of the bed. I know I already asked, but how are you feeling? Any aches, sores, nausea? Intrusive thoughts? Weird impulses? Fever, maybe? I don't think. He placed his hand on my forehead before I could react. His hands were calloused, quickly retracting as he gave a thoughtful hum. You seem to be lucid. That's a good sign. Great. He hummed absently, his twitching ear reminding me of a perturbed cat. My cat! Oh shoot! Sorry if this is out of nowhere, but have you seen my cat around these parts? His name is Mittens. He's a sweet little thing about this big, skittish, but he can approach strangers if he needs to. I pulled out my phone to show pictures of him, only to find it missing from my back pocket. Wait, where is... I haven't... Huh? Your cat. I haven't seen it. Oh, I see. I slumped against the pillows, rubbing my temples. He lost his collar too. Even if anyone finds him, they wouldn't be able to tell where he's from. Damn it. Michael stayed quiet, watching me from his side of the bed. You came all the way out here? For a cat? Huh? Of course. To the point where you're willing to run yourself ragged in this deep forest? For a cat? Do you realize how far you've wandered away from the nearest town? I found you near, unconscious, in an area nobody's set foot in for years. For a cat. He sounded like he was holding himself back from giving me a stern lecture, as if in disbelief. I had such little regard to my own survival. My cheeks grew heated at how stupid, reckless that sounds. I mean, he's not just a cat, he's my family. I know it's stupid for even trying, but I had to. Michael eased up, shoulders tense as he looked for me from underneath his unruly bangs. Family, huh? He finally tipped his head at me with a smile. You're willing to wander this far for such a small critter? I met my fair share of lost campers, hunters, and a few runaway teens or two. But someone looking for their pet? You're kinda weird, aren't you? I sputtered, much to his amusement. Speak for yourself. Who cosplays in the middle of the woods? Michael laughed, a deep, hearty one, resonating from his chest. Fair. I think I'm starting to like you, Nevie. Likewise. His smile widened, but something about it was off. He was showing too much teeth. Felt like he hadn't talked to someone in a real long time and forgot how to smile the right amount. I rubbed my neck, trying to think of something else to say. Can I ask how did I get that? Oh, like I said, I found you in the woods not far from here. Oh, geez, really? I knew I was tired, but I couldn't have possibly. Huh. I did step in something important. Familiar pinpricks crept up my skin. Home. I need to go home. Michael stiffened as he grabbed my shoulder. Never mind that. You'd fallen unconscious from a heat stroke. Heat stroke? No, that wasn't what happened. It wasn't. I was fine up until. Michael shook his head insistently, leaning close. No, Fly. You weren't fine at all. I felt you, Fly. You're so cute. If I hadn't found you when I did, well, who knows what could have happened. You could have gotten injured or attacked by a wild animal. There's dangers in these woods, you know. No, he was right. You had been so foolish. How did you think you could do this on your own? Such a fairy cat in the middle of the woods. And to go in without bringing any water? Passing out from heat stroke of all things. How could you have been so stupid? I shook my head, brain too foggy to pick apart my thoughts. He sounded so confident, so why should you doubt him? Well, if it means anything, I'm glad you were there. Michael relaxed, his hand on his lap once more. He grinned at me. So am I, Evie. I'm definitely glad I found you. His eyes were fully hidden behind his unruly hair, and I couldn't help feeling how intensely they were fixated to me as he said that. The hairs on the back of my neck stood. Sure. Without a distraction, I've only just realised how uncomfortable I was sitting still. The blanket on me was starting to itch, just as the desperate need to get home began to rise in me again. This was interesting, but I should still really get going now. Wait. My host jumped up from the bed before I could. I mean, I can't just let you wander in the woods this late. Please, stay a bit longer. Come. He grabbed my hand and led me across the room. We stepped into the kitchen, a fragrant smell of cooked potatoes and meat hanging in the air. 2 plates had been set out on a small circular table complete with utensils and mugs of tea. I wasn't expecting guests today, so the food is nothing fancy. But join me for dinner? He looked so hurtful, ears drooping. You'd feel so bad if you had to say no. I say yes. Michael's jaw dropped for a second before he quickly recovered. This is taking like ages, so I might split up the stream for YouTube in 3 parts, so I will have to do like the goodbyes for YouTube in the middle of the stream. I apologize for that. Yes, of course. Here, come sit. I'll serve up the cottage pie in a minute. Oh, cottage pie, he's a good cook. I sat as instructed, my stomach rumbling. Something fierce as the smell was the only thing I could focus on. Yes, this was definitely the right choice. What was so important that you had to leave so soon? The world outside can wait. You could stay here and enjoy my company. Oh, actually, I should ask, are you okay with meat for dinner? I could make something else for you if that's not your preference. I am okay with meat. I'm not a vegan or anything. Okay, you'll be having the same dinner as me then. Cool. Michael pattered about the small kitchen with this almost giddy excitement. He put on a pair of knitted oven mitts, humming as he stooped down and pulled out a steaming tray of pie from the wood stove. The smell! It filled out the kitchen in an instant as he brought it to the table. my stomach rumbling louder in response. I'm pretty sure Michael could hear it, but he just smiled as he served up our portions. He discreetly cut me a bigger piece, which I was grateful for. It looks so good. That does look good, actually. I'd eat that. The crust was a nice golden colour, streaked with crisp lines and garnish. The meat and veggie filling looked absolutely delectable, the savoury sauce leaking onto the plate. My mouth was watering, unsurprising, considering the fact I haven't eaten all day. Yeah. Careful now, it's still hot. It was fair advice, but I didn't want more than 2 blows before biting into my first forkful. It was definitely way too hot to eat, straight from the oven. Michael kept a polite expression, the corner of his mouth lifting as I panted with the piece still in my mouth. It gave me a few seconds to recover, elbow planted on the table. Was it good? I nodded vigorously, even though my buds were burning. I couldn't taste anything. He laughed. It's usually better on the second bite. I slowed down, my hand on my mouth as Michael poked his fork into his own slice. I tentatively blew on the pie to make sure it was cool enough before taking another bite. He was right. The second bite was a lot better. The seasoned potato crust was nice and crisp on top, cheesy and creamy in the middle. The savoury meat filling was well cooked and bursting with flavour. Every bite felt like home. My host watched me enjoy the meal from across the table. Do you like it? Yeah, this tastes amazing, Michael. He flushed from the compliment, rubbing the back of his neck. Oh, look at him. I'm glad I like to think of myself as a decent cook. I've never been able to get anyone else's opinion on that. Do you like baking in particular? Not always. I usually go for simple dishes with any ingredients available. I nodded amicably, though didn't say much else. I was more focused on scarfing down dinner, which thankfully Michael didn't seem to mind. The atmosphere was nice and homely, and I could hear Michael tapping his feet from underneath the table. He's such a silly guy. I love him. I guess he was happy to have someone stay for dinner. It did seem like he lived alone, judging from the surroundings in his cabin. So, I'm kinda curious. Perked up, instantly focusing solely on me. What made you want to live all the way out here? Oh. Well, when you look like me, it's kinda easier just to live out of sight from everyone else. A pang of guilt shot through my chest. I was giving him a hard time about how he looked too. I must have sensed it, clear as day on my face. Not that you're not one of them. You've actually been nicer than most. Though, I wonder if... His smile turned strained. Never mind. My point is it's better here than anywhere else. Why don't you try the tea, Firefly? He seemed uncomfortable now, easing into a different topic. It's probably best to follow along. Oh, sure. I reached towards my mug, only to push it off the edge with my clumsy fingers. Wait! I bent over to grab it, expecting it to fall just out of reach and land on the floor into broken pieces. It never did. Instead, a long green appendage was twisted around the ceramic mug, securely keeping it in place. Not even a drop had fallen out. My eyes trailed along the length of it until I pinpointed that it came from behind Michael, the rest of it partially hidden by his cardigan. Michael? Is that yours? Okay, that's gonna be it for part one of Mushroom Oasis on my YouTube channel. I am streaming this on Twitch, so I will just keep recording like probably right after this. Um, I'll post one video like each day in succession, probably. I hope you enjoyed today. See you next time. Bye.